Hello students, today we are going to start with the next chapter, that is chapter 4, heat. In the chapter 3 we had learned that woolen clothes are made from animal fibers. Yes, there were two type of fibers, that is we studied in the last chapter, that is the wool and the silk, which are the two types of animal fibers. You also know that cotton cloths, which we studied in the previous class, that is in 6th standard, we studied plant fibers. Okay, from the plant fibers, we get cotton, jute, and many variety of different fibers. Now, we wear woolen clothes during winters when it is cold outside. Why? Because woolen clothes keep us warm. Okay, so why do we wear woolen clothes in the winter season? Because woolen clothes keep us warm. And in on the other side, we wear light colored cotton clothes when it is hot. So in the summer season, we prefer to wear very light weight clothes. Why? Because it is very hot in the summer season. And when we wear such lightweight or light colored clothes in the summer season, it our body feels the coolness, right? This gives us a feeling of coolness. You might have wondered why particular types of clothes are suitable for a particular season. Okay, so now in this chapter further we'll study why we wear woolen clothes in winter season and why do we wear cotton clothes in summer season. Now, in summer season, you feel hot even inside the house. Now, how do we know that whether an object is hot or cold? How do we find out how much cold it is or how much hot than that object is? Okay, so this all we'll study further. So, the first topic in this chapter is hot and cold. So, in our day to day life, we come across a number of objects. Yes, so many objects are there in our environment and also near us. So, some of them are hot. For example, they have given in this table 4.1 some hot and cold objects. So, for example, ice cream, it's a cold. Spoon in a teacup, it will be um, cool only. Spoon, okay, in a teacup. Fruit juice, that is also cold. Handle of a frying pan, that is also cold. Yes, so such things. Spoon in a teacup, if the tea is very hot, then the spoon sometimes becomes very hot. So it can consider we can consider this spoon in a teacup sometimes in hot or sometimes in cold. Fruit juice, as you all know, it's cold only. And handle of a frying pan, that also sometimes it can be cold and sometimes it can be hot. When the vessel becomes very hot, then maybe that heat is being transferred to the handle. Okay, so similarly, we as they have shown some examples, there are many examples that we come across in our day-to-day life, which are some are cold and some are hot. Tea is hot and ice is cold. Yes. List some objects you use commonly in table 4.1. As we saw in table 4.1, some objects are there and they've asked us to mark the objects as hot or cold. We see that some objects are cold while some are hot. You also know that some objects are hotter than others while some are colder than others. Yes. For example, some objects, when you touch, they are more hot than other objects which is also kept near it. Similarly, some objects are more cold. Consider when you consider with an object that is kept in that same, for example, in a refrigerator, you keep the objects that in the fridge, that is cold, but you keep the things that are kept in the freezer at the top of the fridge, yes, in the freezer, then that objects are more colder than the objects that are kept inside the fridge. So some are cold, some are more colder. How do we decide which object is hotter than the other? We often do it by touching the objects. Yes, when we touch it, we can feel that it is cold or colder or hot or hotter, right? But is our sense of touch reliable? Can we rely on that? Can from that touch only we can decide that this is more hotter and this is more colder, or less hotter or less colder. Yes. So for example, we can experiment. This experiment you can do at your home. It's very easy. You have to take three small tubs or containers. A, B, C, you have to label them. Put cold water in one container, put hot water in another container, and in the third container, what you'll put a mixture of cold and hot water. Now dip your left hand in container A and right hand in container B. You keep in mind that the hot water that you're taking, that should not be very hot. Okay, so that you have to look that your hands don't get burned, right? So, and one hand you are keeping in hot water, one hand you are keeping in cold water. After keeping the hands in the two container for 2-3 minutes, put your both hands together into the container which is having a mixture of hot and cold water, and you have to find out what feeling your hands are getting. Okay, what feeling your hand is getting, what sense your hand is getting. Is it getting hot or is it getting cold? Okay, so children, try this experiment at home. So Bojo's here he's saying that Bojo says my left hand tells me that the water in the mug C is hot, and the right hand tells me that the same water is cold. So how to conclude? So we cannot, by the skin's sense, we cannot conclude whether the water is hot or cold. So to uh, avoid this confusion, we have some object or some instrument which helps to say clearly that which is hot and which is cold. This confusion shows that we cannot rely on our sense of touch to decide whether an object is hot or cold. Sometimes it may deceive us, sometimes it may create a confusion, and we will come to a wrong conclusion. So, then how can we find out clearly whether an object is hot or cold? So, a reliable measure of the hotness of an object is its temperature. Okay. So, by coming to know, by knowing that what is the temperature of that object, we can come to know that whether it's a hot object or a cold object. And we all know that temperature of an object is measured by a device or by an instrument called thermometer. Okay. So what is a thermometer? A thermometer is a device which helps in measuring temperature. Okay. Now we'll look into how a thermometer measures the temperature. You must have used at your home, you must be having a digital thermometer, right? In that digital thermometer, you measure the temperature of your body. So that thermometer helps you come to know that what is the temperature of your body. Okay, the thermometer that measures our body temperature is called a clinical thermometer. Okay, so the thermometer that we have at our home to measure the body temperature, that is called as a clinical thermometer. Okay, how you have to measure it? Hold the thermometer in your hand and examine it carefully. Okay, so the clinical thermometer looks like this. Okay, they have shown a clinical the thermometer that the doctors use at their hospitals, but at home we have digital thermometers. Okay, and examine it carefully. If you do not have a thermometer, request. Okay, a clinical thermometer looks like the one shown in figure 4.2. Okay, a clinical thermometer consists of a long, narrow, uniform glass tube. Okay, so clinical thermometer has a long, it is narrow from the front, and uniform glass tube. This is made up of glass. It has a bulb at one end. You can see a bulb at one end. This bulb contains mercury. Okay, a chemical called mercury. There's a mercury in this tip. Outside the bulb, a small shining thread of mercury can be seen. So outside this, you can see that it's shining. So this is, you can see a small shining thread of mercury. If you do not see the mercury thread, rotate the thermometer a bit till you see it. So if you are not able to see it at this tip, then you just have to rotate the thermometer so that you can see the mercury. You will also find a scale on the thermometer. Yes, you can see a scale. Numbers are written. Okay. The scale we use is the Celsius scale, indicated by degree centigrade, degree C, which is called at degree centigrade. So the scale we use is the Celsius scale. That is, in on this thermometer, the minimum temperature and the maximum temperature of the human body is written. Okay. Now a clinical thermometer reads temperature from 35 degree centigrade to 42 degree centigrade. Okay, so the temperature in the clinical thermometer you can read from where to where, from 35 degree centigrade to 42 degree centigrade. Now how do we read from the thermometer the temperature? Reading a thermometer. So first note the temperature difference indicated between the two big marks. Okay, so here they have shown the marks. At 37 there is a long line and 36 there is a long line. Okay, so these are the two big marks. Note down the temperature difference indicated between the two big marks. Also note down the number of divisions. How many small lines are there in between those two big marks? Suppose the bigger mark reads 1 degree and there are 5 divisions. Okay, between them. Then one small division we can read it as 0.2 degrees centigrade. So one mark between these two big marks we read it as one small line, one small division between these two big marks we read it as 0.2 degrees. Okay. Now, how to use a thermometer? Wash the thermometer preferably with an antiseptic solution. When you are to use a thermometer, you have to clean it properly with an antiseptic solution so that any germs or infected germs are there on the thermometer, it dies, and that infection, when the thermometer is put under your tongue or under your arms, you don't get infected. Then hold it firmly and give it a few jerks. So you have to hold the thermometer and shake it. Okay. So the jerks will bring the level of mercury down. So why do we give that jerks? So that the mercury level that is inside that glass tube of the thermometer comes down. Ensure that it falls below 35 degrees centigrade. So we have to see that the mercury is below 35 degrees centigrade. Now place the bulb of the thermometer under your tongue. Now we have to keep the thermometer under our tongue and keep it there until 1 minute. After 1 minute, take the thermometer out and note the reading. And the reading that comes, that is your body temperature. And we always write our body temperature in degree Celsius. Okay, so the normal, this you have to remember, the normal temperature of human body is 37 degree centigrade. Okay, as we read here that the normal temperature of human body is 37 degrees centigrade, but it is not necessary that everybody's body temperature comes at 37 degree only. It can be above also, it can be a little bit below also. So you don't have to worry if it does not come as 37 degrees centigrade. Okay. Now the temperature of every person may not be 37 degree. As I told you, the temperature of every person may not be 37 degrees centigrade. It could be slightly higher or slightly lower. Actually, what we call normal temperature is the average body temperature of a large number of healthy persons. So that is 37 degrees, the average of that is calculated from the body temperature of that is taken for so many different persons, and that is the average that they have calculated, that it average temperature, normal temperature of a person is 37 degrees centigrade. It can be above also, it can be below also. Okay. So the clinical thermometer is designed to measure the temperature of human body only. So that clinical thermometer can only measure the temperature of a human body. So the temperature of human body normally does not go below 35 degrees centigrade or above 42 degree centigrade. That is why the range that is, or the scale that is given in the clinical thermometer, starts from 35 degree and ends at 42 degree, because normally it does not go below 35 or it does not go above 42. So here we completed that what is a clinical thermometer and where it is used. So clinical thermometer, how it looks, what is there inside it, what is the shape of the clinical thermometer, and how it should be used, and to measure whose that thermometer can be used where, to measure whose temperature, that is the body temperature of a human being. Okay, now next type of thermometer is the laboratory thermometer. Okay, how do we measure the temperature of other objects? So now using the clinical thermometer, we can only measure the temperature of a human body. Now there are so many objects around us which are hot and cold. So how to measure their temperature? So for this purpose, there are other thermometers. One such thermometer is known as the laboratory thermometer. Okay. In the laboratory thermometer, what happens? Look at it carefully and note the highest and the lowest temperature. So in this thermometer, the highest is 110, right? And the lowest you can see is 1, 0. The lowest is 0. Okay. So 10 they have written. Thermometer is generally, the range of laboratory thermometer is generally from 10 degree to 110 degree centigrade. Okay. 10 to 110. Also, as you did in the case of clinical thermometer, find out how much a small division of this thermometer reads. So what are the number of lines in between these two big marks? Now, if you want to measure the temperature of any other object, for example, take some tap water in a beaker, dip the thermometer in water so that the bulb is immersed in water but does not touch the bottom or sides of the container. Okay, when you take water in a container, when you use a laboratory thermometer, this tip of the laboratory thermometer should not touch on the container or the sides of the vessel or the container. Okay, now you have to keep it dipped in that water and wait till the mercury thread becomes steady. So that mercury that is here, it will start to move up slowly, slowly. Okay, and we have to wait up till the mercury stops moving. It becomes steady. It does not move up also. It does not move down also. Up till that time, we have to keep the thermometer immersed in the water. Then after that, when the mercury becomes steady inside the thermometer, you can take the reading of from the thermometer and find out what is the temperature of water at that time. Okay, so if different students do the same thing, the temperature will come each time different. It will not be same. Okay, so similarly you can do it for, take some hot water in a beaker, dip the thermometer in it, wait till the mercury thread becomes steady and note the temperature. Now take out the thermometer from water. Observe carefully what happens now. You notice that the level of the mercury begins to fall. This means that temperature must be read while the thermometer is in water. So when the thermometer is in water, it becomes steady inside. You have to note down the reading, because as soon as you take out of the water, the mercury will begin to fall. So you may recall that while taking your own temperature, when we are doing measuring our body temperature using the clinical thermometer, when you take out of the thermometer from your mouth to note down the reading, the mercury was not dropping down. Yes. So can you use this laboratory thermometer to measure your body temperature? No, because in the laboratory thermometer, that mercury starts to fall when you take out from that object.